Hello everyone, welcome to my channel where we make easy painting tutorials, currently twice per week. And I start by taping down my page into 3 equal sections. I'm pretty much eyeballing them, they don't have to be perfect. And then I also tape down the sides of the paper. I'm using my watercolor sketchbook and all of the supplies will be linked below in the description box. Once I have everything taped down, I also add a couple of these clips to make sure everything is in place. And I begin by coloring in the first rectangle with a bright pink color up to the middle of it. Then I switch to a slightly darker pink magenta color and I bring it up just a bit over, I'd say 2/3 of the page. Then I switch to my darkest violet and I cover all of the remaining areas with it. I also bring it very slightly below towards my brighter colors, that way it all smooths down and looks very gradual once I blend it. And I add a very slight hint of black to the very top corners of this, since these are going to be night sky sceneries. For the middle one, I begin coloring using a bright blue color. And again, I bring it at about half of the page. Then I switch to a slightly darker tone, whatever is in my pencil set, whatever I have on hand. And I keep coloring the remaining half of it. These pencils have a very creamy consistency, so I don't have to use much pressure to get a strong result. Then again, I add a bit of black towards the top, and for the final one, I start coloring with a bright turquoise green with a bright pea green color. And once I reach the half, I switch to a darker pine green tone. I'm using horizontal motions for this, since it's going to look more like a hazy sky later on once I activate it. And again, I cover the top with a slight amount of black. I proceed to blending them with a watercolor brush, and I start from the bottom towards the upper side using horizontal motions from left to right and from right to left. And once I reach the top, I come back down. That way, the more I pass over it, the smoother it gets, the more the pencil markings are going to blend with the water and they're just going to look very smooth overall. I clean my brush on a piece of tissue paper and I proceed to blend the remaining ones. Once I finish the blue one, again I clean it on my tissue, that way I don't contaminate the colors. And I blend the green one from light to dark and then from dark to light. If there are any streakiness, I just go directly over them with a slightly damp brush and I let it all dry. Once it has fully dried, using the black pencil, I sketched this mountain, this ground, using it, and I want to give the idea like it's one continued piece of land, if that makes any sense, and just the color that changes. I fill it in using the black pencil again. I apply quite a thick layer, that way it's going to look very dark and very strong. And once I have everything covered, I go with a slightly damp brush and just go over it to give a bit more definition on the top edges and also smooth down any patchiness, any unevenness that the pencil has left behind. Once that's done, I take some white gouache paint. I unscrew the cap of this jar and I just use that as my palette. I use a drop of paint with 1 or 2 drops of water to dilute it and then splatter over the backgrounds. I'm covering the bottom part, the land, with my tissue, that way it stays clean and I don't get any stars on it. In case a splatter ends up there, I just very slightly tap on it with the napkin, that way it can pick up the paint immediately. Alternatively to gouache, you can use white acrylic paint or a white marker. The reason I don't use the white pencil from the set is because it's very transparent and you won't be able to see any of the white stars if I want to use it. I decided I would add a couple of constellations to these night skies using a white Uni Posca fine liner pen. And excuse my phone that's in the shot, I just googled some sky maps to see more accurately their shapes. For the blue one, I had this splatter right in the middle, so I decided I would go with the northern star. For the green one, I believe it's called Cassiopeia, I'm not sure, basically a W shape. And for the pink one, I believe this is Eagle constellation, I'm not sure. It's basically similar to a cross shape. Then I sign, and lastly I untape it all very slowly in the opposite direction to avoid the paper from ripping off. In case you have difficulties with taking off the tape, feel free to use a hair dryer on low heat settings, or prior to painting you can tape it down to your hand, your sleeve, maybe a t-shirt or jeans. That way the fibers are going to get rid of some of the tackiness that the tape has. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments down below and we'll see each other in the next one.